Hey folks, and welcome back to another episode of Why That's Funny podcast. Good to see everybody out there again. 3 in a row, baby. We are back.
Woo!
Once again, give it up for my good friend, Mr. Captain John.
Ahoy!
Hey, what up, John? How you feeling this week, kid?
I'm feeling great, dude.
You look great.
Up some beers,
Nice shirt. You're looking good.
Show.
You look like you're ready for a fancy cruise.
Yep.
Nice hat. Nice Cowboys hat. You look like a psycho, dude. You actually, I take back everything I just said. You look like you raided a mall.
It's summer, dude. It's my summer wear.
It's not. All right. It's almost summer, though. Anyway, guys, we're going to have a great show today.
Woo!
Let's get into it.
You are listening to Why That's Funny, a podcast that enlightens you on everyday things. Starring Andrew Ginsberg and Captain John.
Easter's coming up.
Yeah.
Do you celebrate Easter?
I have my entire life. I'm actually.
Well, that's not to answer the question. You said that like a politician.
Yes, listen.
I have my entire life.
So, my entire life as a child.
Sure.
My mom always did an Easter egg hunt.
Oh, okay.
Million eggs in the backyard.
Uh-huh.
Pick up the egg. Not candy. We weren't like poor people that put candy in the eggs.
Right. We had $100 bills in our race.
No money either. My mom would go to the store and buy 30 prizes for all the kids.
Okay.
And she would do it like a raffle. There would just be a number, like a little circle number, and you'd be like, yo, 30. And then my dad would be like, oh, you got 30. Who got 30?
Wow.
And like, a little kid would raise his hand. Oh, I got 30. He's like, no, you don't get it. Give it to your brother.
Listen,
give it to
you didn't pay up last time, so now I'm juicing up the top of your winnings, okay? Don't mess around.
So that was my entire life. And as I got older, I wasn't doing the Easter egg hunt. I started drinking mimosas with my mom in the morning, blacking out for Easter. Usually I would be blacked out every Easter.
Okay.
That was my holiday because there was always lunch at 3 o'clock because it was the most ridiculous. Everybody ate dinner at fucking 4 o'clock on Easter. It made no sense.
Well,
so I was blacked out and passed out by like fucking 6 7 p.m.
Okay.
Every
right.
Easter.
You have a very different interpretation of
Yes.
Easter than I think most
But
people
now,
Right.
now I'm bringing back the Murphy goddamn Easter egg hunt. I went to the dollar store. I bought 30 things.
Right.
And I bought 30 eggs.
Oh.
I'm going to put all the eggs out there. I bought a $35 grand prize. So
Really?
for the little kid that wins it, yeah.
So you're doing all that.
I want my son to have that.
Why?
Because it's just a fun tradition.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck about God coming back, sucking my dick, and then going back into heaven.
Yeah,
I don't care about that. Jesus
Right.
came back. He rose. Oh, yeah, big stone.
Right.
Don't care.
Big stone, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what that yeah.
Yeah, they moved
Call
the
me
big stone.
Big Stone now. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the Romans.
Yeah,
They're like, hey, how'd he get out of here? It's like,
Yeah,
well, they
yeah.
obviously took the body so they could do this
Well,
trick.
yeah.
It's a nice parlor trick.
All right.
Very
geez.
smart.
Yeah.
So I wanted to do the thing. I wanted to have it.
Well, because like I feel like it's like I don't have a kid.
Yeah. You'll never have a kid.
Well, you don't know. I don't think so.
I just
though.
feel like you don't want a kid.
I don't want a kid.
I feel like
no.
you'll never have a kid.
I don't. My feeling towards kids is the same way it was when I was like 16.
Yeah.
Where it's like I'm like, oh my god. Like,
Yeah, I feel like every time you're by a kid, you're like, oh, wow, that's nice. And you're like, oh, this is so awkward.
yeah.
Like, let me get away from this thing.
No, it's not that. I like other people's kids. I just like I don't. I'm not.
But you're still like awkward though, right? Like,
I don't know.
you-
What am I? I don't have anything in common with a kid. I like adult shit. I
I
don't
like
know what
weed.
to- Yeah, exactly.
I like smoking. I
don't-
talking
what-
about
what,
smoking.
What am I supposed to say to them? I don't know what to say. So I get a little weird around them. But the thing is, what I do think about is like I've seen a lot of people, like, as I follow everybody on Facebook and Instagram and stuff, and people that we went to high school with, like a lot. Everybody has like kids now.
Yeah.
And I'll see people posting like, oh my god, like here's my kid, like all dressed up for like Easter, or like, oh, we had like a baptism
Yeah,
for the
I'm
kids.
not
You're
gay.
gonna
I'm not
baptize your kids?
I'm not doing that. No.
What is going on? Dude, so many people are
That's
like
the craziest move in the world.
people are still baptized. No,
it's
people
2025.
people we know
I know.
are baptizing their kids.
I
and
know.
I'm like, what why?
Yeah.
Because like our parents, first of all, nobody's Catholic anymore. Like,
No.
it's over. There's no new Catholics.
There's Christians.
There's Christians,
Yeah, they believe in like,
Christians,
oh, we're nice.
yeah.
You're
Church
not-
is cool now. It plays
Yeah.
rock music. It's
Yeah.
all, it's like, hey man. But like the whole like being a Catholic, which basically means like you
Dude.
believe nothing, but once a week you go to a building on Sunday. Nobody's doing that
Let
anymore.
me pause real quick and
Yeah.
like I know we're getting distracted, but like
Yeah.
when
Nuh-uh.
my aunt died, I brought Tara to the church, to the funeral.
Sure.
She's been like with Calvary Chapel, born again Christian. Her mom,
Tara?
Yeah, her mom, not Tara. I would never.
I was gonna say, get me out of
No,
here.
yeah, there's no, yeah, she like me, yeah, she like me, John, she like me,
Yeah, right. Ain't no
You ever
Christian
seen
gonna
that?
be with a guy like me. I'm a bad man, man. I'm a bad boy.
So when I bring Tara there, I have this repressed memory of going to Catholic church my entire life. I know the moves.
Right.
First verse on your knees. Then
Right.
you're standing.
Stand up.
The priest doesn't tell you anything. You just have to
he
know.
gets up, you stand up,
So,
you look around, everybody's standing
I'm
up.
going,
Yeah.
and like we're in the front because my aunt and my dad's in front of us. That's it. That's all we got.
Yeah.
So I'm doing stuff, and Tara's like, "Yo, what do I do?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Just look at him." And my dad has it in his mind. So like now she's just like, "This is." After the whole thing, she's like, "Yo, what just happened? How does a normal person go to this church
Yeah.
and be like, okay, I like up, kneel." Up, stand, up, now sit, up, shake your hands.
Yeah.
Okay, yes. Like there's so many motions.
Yeah, there's all
And I always thought
that's
that
what
was
it's all about.
I just thought that was church.
Yeah.
And then when I found out that other people aren't doing that, you have like you get like the black people are singing and clapping.
They
then the other
they
people,
do it right. They
the
have like a
Asians
barbecue
talking
essentially.
tongues, and then the born again Christians they're just chilling, smoking cigarettes outside, talking about God.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, if you don't do this, your priest hates you and wants to fucking kill you. Like if
I
you
don't know if
see
he wants
like,
to kill you.
No, he's like, oh, your son's disrespectful. He didn't stand when I stood.
Yeah. They had
It's
a
like,
big
how do
problem
I
with
know
that. You
when I
gotta
stand?
Well, you gotta look
Gotta
at it.
kneel.
You gotta kneel. It's like
My dad would always go in the back of the church right after the gospel because he knew like that's when you can leave. Like, in his head,
guys who just left before church.
Yeah,
ended were
he
the
would get-
funny.
he would do
They
this.
can't even be bothered to stay the whole hour and
he
20
would get
minutes.
the fucking thing, and he would always go at 8:00 mass at night because he had the golf on Sunday morning. I'm like,
Right,
that
right.
doesn't count.
I know but that's
like,
what I'm,
Dad, just put it through your head.
but that's what I'm saying about Catholicism is like that. I feel like that brand of religion nobody believes. Like my parents didn't really. My mom, well, my dad's Jewish, but my mom didn't really believe that. Like oh, like this is like I love that.
But was your Catholic? Was your mom Catholic?
She
or
was
she
Catholic.
Christian?
Well, she was Catholic.
Okay.
She was a Catholic. She went to a Catholic church.
Yeah.
And it was funny because it's like there was no spirituality behind any
No,
of it.
there's none of it.
It was just like, yeah, you can basically do whatever you want and be whatever kind of person you want and live any way you want. But every Sunday, maybe if we feel like it,
Yeah.
we go to this building that's basically just a building. It doesn't even look like a church. It's just a regular. It looks like a rec center, like a public works building.
St. Ambrose, St. Thomas.
Yeah, all right. They make the windows look old or
Your
whatever.
mom goes to like the Baptist church.
No, she doesn't go to. Yeah, she goes to a Baptist.
Doesn't she go to
church.
Westboro?
And then he rode. Westboro are the guys that say like 9/11 was a like.
Oh yeah. Your mom doesn't go to Westboro.
My mom,
Baptist
yeah,
church.
my mom stands with big signs that says like God hates.
God hates
yeah,
that's
yeah.
what. Yeah.
That's my mom. I wish she wouldn't do that. Mom, you go to church? No, I'm going. I'm going to stand outside of Hairspray on Broadway and protest.
Wait, but didn't your mom go to a church like she had to go every Christmas Eve? You used to go with
my
her.
mom went to
What
church.
church is that?
Most
though?
Holy Redeemer, right
So
over
that's
here.
not Catholic.
That's a Catholic, one Catholic, Holy Catholic Apostolic Church. It's
Is
a
it
church.
really?
Yeah, it's Catholic.
See,
But but she didn't. When you go to that, it's like you can go there once in a while. You go when you feel like it. And all you really have to do is stand up, sit down. The guy's mumbling about God knows what. He's wearing a cape. Nobody knows what the hell's happening. It's all nonsense.
Hey,
There's no
it's
spirituality. You just do it.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, I'm good. Now when I die, I'll be rewarded in paradise because I did whatever I wanted. And then on Sunday for an hour, and for your dad, an hour 10 minutes, he left early.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Even shorter, dude. He would, like I said, the 8:00 mass was only 30 minutes because
Yeah.
they don't do gospels. So
Right.
right after the gospel, I'm sorry, a homily is what happens after the
Is
gospel.
that where they just kind of go?
So the
and
gospel,
then he.
the gospel's like, oh, I'm going to read the scripture from Luke, John, Paul, and you do this on your forehead and your chin and on your heart. And he's like, Luke, John, Paul, smoke cigarettes, and then he
Right,
rose
right.
from the dead, blah, blah, blah,
Right.
cured baptisms.
What?
Whatever the fuck he said. And
Right.
then he would give you the thing, put it in your mouth, dry your mouth out, suck, drink
Yeah.
a little wine.
Yeah.
And then be like, all right,
Drink a little wine.
now we're going to talk about that reading.
Yeah,
and that's when my
then
dad's
they
like,
talk
all right, I
about
don't have to hear this. I heard
Right,
the
right.
gospel.
I got the
Okay.
one. I had my bread
Like,
and wine.
he's like, he would like that's when the priest would relate it to like certain things. He'd be
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know when your
the
neighbor's
the
being a
troops
dickhead,
and-
and like you're like, hey man, why don't you stop being a dickhead? Just be nicer to him. Maybe he has something going on. And that's what Luke Paul John was talking about.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
Luke
and
Paul
that's
John was
the-
talking
yeah,
about.
And
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
when my dad's out. He
Right.
didn't want to hear the stuff that makes you better in life. He
Right.
just needed to hear like the gospel.
Well, that's what I mean. You just do the things, and the gospel. That's the part where everybody would just zone out.
Yeah, you have no idea what
just
you're saying.
gone.
Yeah.
But my mom never really she took us to church every Sunday. But I remember in the car on the way home, I'd be like, "Mom, like, why do we go to church every Sunday?" She'd be like, "I don't know. Who cares? Like, you just we got nothing else to do. What do you want to sleep?"
Yeah.
But hold on, there was something I really wanted to tell you about this. Fuck.
Easter.
Easter.
While you're waiting, I'm gonna
Easter.
do something a little experimental.
What are you
here.
doing?
I gotta Got a little thing for the
Ew,
show.
what is that?
This is a jar. Let me show this to the camera real quick. You see this jar?
Ew.
All right, so while you're taking a gander and trying to think of what you want to say, I just want to tell the audience I'm always experimenting with new ways to get fucked up. I got this jar here.
Ew, dude, that looks disgusting.
I got a spoon.
Ew, dude. Ugh, you know what that looks like?
Oh, man, look at that, huh?
Ew.
What is that? A
I
little
don't know, is that a
gelatinous
yellow ball?
Yeah.
Ew, dude, I can't even watch you eat that. It's so
Oh.
gross.
Oh,
Ew. Ew. What is
God.
it? Lemon drop
Oh,
bubble?
God.
BUBL? Ugh, dude, that looks...
This tastes like Lysol wipes.
Ew, man. What is that?
Oh.
Does it have alcohol in it?
Oh. Yeah, it's 35%.
In one ball?
One ball.
No way.
dude.
Get out of here.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
got to be the whole jar.
No.
You know what that looks like? That looks like that Shav stuff that my dad drinks. That's why my stomach's turning watching you eat it.
Oof.
You know what Shav is?
No, dude.
Yeah, no one does. It's
What
some
is-
Jewish thing. My dad, like,
Oh, God.
it's basically like a jar of pickle juice, essentially, that he would buy at like some Jewish store. And he'd be like, I love this stuff, Shav. It had 5,000 milligrams of sodium in it, and he
Oh,
would
my
just
God.
chug it back. It was like pickle juice, basically. He would just chug it back.
But what is
I
it?
love Shav. He would put
Fuck.
he would put like whipped cream in it or something. Oh, he would sour cream in the Shav, mix it together,
Okay.
drink it. Disgusting.
That's
dude.
the grossest thing I ever heard. But that makes sense.
But that's
more
what
than
that
whipped
looks
cream.
like.
Yeah, that's
So
not
you just
good.
drank a lemon ball with.
I wish you could try one.
I'm sorry, man. I
No.
don't. That's not something I feel like I need to try. Oh, here's what I was gonna say. The Easter Bunny is how I found out that like magic wasn't real and all that stuff.
Yo, no way!
Yeah.
Same!
No way,
Dude!
Yeah, the Easter Bunny is what ruined it all
Wow.
for me.
Holy shit!
Yep.
Same exact thing. Tell me yours. I'll tell you mine.
My grandma Kathy was still alive during that time. She was an old crazy Italian lady.
Yeah.
And I said to her, we were sitting there one day, and I said, "Grandma, is the Easter Bunny real?" And she went, "Oh, you don't believe that, do you?" She was like, "You don't believe that shit, do you?" And I remember, and I was like, "What?" And then that was like how it all.
That was it.
And that's how it all just came
And
unraveling.
everything,
Then,
and
and I was
here
like, none
you
of
are.
it's real. None of it's real, man. There's no talking bunny. I don't know, but like people still with the baptizing their kids and all this. I just the thing is like this is a true story. A few years ago, I was still using dating apps,
Yes.
and like I'm seeing somebody now, but a few years ago, I was still using dating apps, and this girl, I went on one date with her, and we had a good time.
Okay.
All right,
Yeah.
this is a true story.
All right. I'm listening.
Then we schedule a second date.
Where are we? Post COVID or before COVID? It's a big thing. Pre 2020 or after 2020?
Oh man, I kind of don't remember. I think it was
All right.
after 2020.
Okay. Okay.
So, yeah, it was after 2020. So we schedule a date, and then we schedule another date in between. But in between is Easter,
Okay.
right? Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Yeah. Yeah. I got
So
you.
we had a date, and then there's another one
It's like,
scheduled.
oh, we gotta do
and-
family stuff,
and in
then we'll do
between,
another
but in
one.
between the next date was Easter.
Yeah.
Okay. On the first date, I never talked to her about my religion. I never told
No.
her anything.
Yeah. Just
And
hanging out.
on Sunday morning of Easter Sunday, between the date, all caps at 8:00 in the morning, she writes "Happy Easter," all caps, and
Okay.
I never talked to her again.
Shut up.
Dude, are you crazy? You think I celebrate Easter? I'm fucking 30-something years old.
Yeah, but like that's just like a fun way. Like, oh, this is a new guy. Like, oh, happy Easter.
No, his last name's Ginsberg. You should assume he's Jewish. What are you telling me Happy Easter
Damn, I
for?
didn't even think of
What,
that,
do you think Jesus rose from the dead? I'm not going to date somebody who thinks Jesus rose from the dead.
Damn, I didn't even fucking think of that, dude. That's
What are
so
you,
fucking
crazy?
funny.
I thought it was the craziest thing. I
So
was
you
like,
just,
what?
yeah,
I
you
just
thought
never
that was the
responded.
craziest thing ever?
I was just like, it's 8 o'clock on Easter. Why are you thinking about a stranger
That-
8 o'clock on Easter
That's
morning?
such a, like a weird thing because like I know Jesus isn't real. I know he didn't do anything, but like Jews just see the world way differently. Like that's a crazy thing for you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I get a text from my mom or her mom or somebody like Happy Easter, it's like, oh yeah, Happy Easter. It's like, oh, happy birthday.
Yeah, but I was
it's like
raised
such
Catholic.
yeah, but like you weren't though because you would expect like you have that half mom, half dad Jewish
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
So like in your head, you're a psychopath if you say Happy Easter and on Easter. Why do you
Right.
actually care about that?
Right.
She had two Catholic parents that like, yo, that's how you talk to people.
Yeah, but that's not because you're talking to this guy with the last name Ginsberg who you only met one
Yeah, that
time.
is fucking catchy.
It's
Psychotic.
8 o'clock on Easter morning.
That
You
is
have anybody to text about Happy Easter except some
And
stranger?
and you know what's weirder about this entire situation is that you two didn't talk about religion immediately. That's like one of the first things I used to always talk about with like
Religion. I just assume that nobody believes in that.
No, you can't
I
because
know.
like that's a huge red flag, dude. It's like you care about God. It's like, damn, you're gonna do a lot of stuff in your life with me if I'm gonna be
Well,
with
no,
you.
that's what I mean.
Because of God.
I wouldn't be
So
able
you gotta get the fuck out of there.
Right. I
Yeah.
did. Well, I wouldn't be able to
Yeah.
date. I wouldn't be able to date somebody that was like, hey, like we need to do like,
Yeah, gotta go to church.
Insert churchy thing.
Yeah.
That would be crazy.
No, but I'm cool with holiday things. I'm all about every holiday. I'm just a big fucking kid.
You're a holiday guy.
Yeah,
That's
I'm a
fine.
holiday guy.
I have my own traditions now.
Yeah. So anyway, fucking back to how I lost it.
Right, yeah. How
So
I lost
I just
it.
told you how my mom does the big Easter egg hunt, right?
Mhm.
Blah, blah, blah. So I went into like a room and I found the grand prize. And I was like, no fucking way. That grand prize is sick. Big ass basket.
Right.
Found the eggs.
Right.
Looked through all the eggs. Found the one that grand prize. I went outside and I hit it myself. So I knew where it was.
Wow.
Being a little dickhead,
Yeah.
right?
This is when you were a kid, or this is?
This is when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Not recently. Nah.
Oh, this was the recent one that you were doing for Liam and stuff. And then,
No,
you were
no,
like,
no,
and then
no,
I
no.
rigged it, so I won.
No, like when I was like 7, 8 years old, right?
Yeah.
So that morning, Easter morning,
Mm-hmm.
where I got like my Easter basket first,
Right.
it was the grand prize.
Of course, because you cheated.
But it wasn't like the grand prize wasn't the prize. I was like, damn, that's a banging ass grand prize. There was Ninja Turtle figures. My mom always made her own Easter basket. She always did holidays big.
Yeah.
So it was all Ninja Turtle shit. And I was like,
Damn.
oh no. And my mom was like, well, I'm like, I saw this. And she's like, oh, I'm like, the Easter Bunny's fake. And she's like, yeah. I started
Johnny.
crying. I'm like, Tooth Fairy? And she's like, I'm like, Santa? She's like, yeah. I'm like,
She's like, yeah, it's all nonsense, John. You want the basket or not? You fucking
and then,
loser.
but hey, listen, I won that, and then I won the grand prize too. I mean, I got that Easter basket. I still ended up getting the grand prize, but my entire spirituality was broke. You just never, your entire childhood never believed in Santa
No,
Claus?
I did believe in Santa Claus.
Oh, your parents let you do that?
Yeah,
Well, I don't know. So they might
do you mean
just,
they let me?
your
Yeah,
dad
yeah.
might have been like, hey, fucking
My dad's not religious.
Presents from me.
My dad's an atheist. Like my dad was the only '90s atheist in the whole world. Like he was the only dad that had there was no other dads like my dad.
No.
There really wasn't.
Yeah, but some Jewish dads were like,
No.
not the Hasidic
Not
Jews.
like my dad though. My dad wasn't like he was. It wasn't like he was like yeah, you know, you gotta have religion. But I don't really do it all the time.
Yeah,
God
yeah.
is real. Like my dad was like, there is no God. This is nonsense. You know, like he like
Dad,
no
I'm 7. I don't
Yeah,
care.
no, he was. I remember like I remember coming home from church one day. He picked he picked me up. He used to pick me up from church because my mom would take me because she played in the band. So then like I'd have to like watch her in the
Damn,
band.
you had
And
a
then,
band church, mom?
yeah, she
That's
played
crazy.
in the band. And then
Clarinet?
she played the flute.
Same thing.
And then my dad would pick me up, and because she had to stay and like have like a meeting after or whatever. And then he would drive me back, and he'd be like, "Don't. By the way, like everything they tell you in there, like just don't flush it down your fucking toilet, okay?" He's like, you know, don't let a guy who wears a robe to work tell you how to live your fucking life. All right, that's it's all a bunch of bullshit. Guy wears a robe, makes $20,000 a year. Little kid, you know what I mean? Like he's like gay, he's gay. Don't trust me.
For divorced parents.
Yeah.
So I never got to see this happen because I grew up with a household that just hated each other but never left each other.
Right.
But for divorced parents, for like Liam and her mom and fucking Tara and his dad.
Yeah, your parents
like-
didn't get divorced so much later.
No, way later.
Yeah,
Yeah. I was 22.
Yeah,
But
that was tough.
I can't believe it.
Yeah,
I can't believe the two people that hated each other so much in front of me. So, but like Tara would get like when I first met Tara and Liam, Tara would get all this stuff for Liam and say it was from Santa, like the best gifts.
Yeah.
And then like Liam would like open and be like, wow, Santa got me this. But like his dad would also get him the best gifts and it would be from his dad.
Yeah.
So Tara's like, damn, all I got him was this shitty fucking like thing. He's like, and like it made like Tara's like, I feel like shit. Like I feel like Liam doesn't think I got him anything.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
like dad's getting him the best like piano
Yeah.
and Santa's getting him a PS4
Yeah.
and mom's getting me Monopoly.
That's so
Like,
funny.
dude. So like I never thought of it. I'm like, oh my God, that's like a thing. Like you have
Yeah.
to like,
You have to compete with.
and I convinced Tara the next time, I'm like, yo, next year, Santa's getting him bullshit. You're getting him the gift. You gotta win. You gotta win this match.
Well, he doesn't still believe in Santa.
No,
Claus.
no, God,
Okay.
no, dude. If
Oh,
he
yeah,
did,
I was gonna say
fucking
he's so
be the
old.
biggest fucking loser in the world. No. He stopped that year over the summer. We were just like outside. I'm like, hey, my ass Santa. He's like, John, Santa's not real. I'm like, all right, I guess we don't have to do any of that. Like
Yeah.
that whole thing didn't have to take place. I'm like, all right, cool, you know?
Then you went a step further. You're like, and also God's not real.
Yeah, well, no, he
now
already
now
did
that you're starting to think like a real adult.
Yeah, that kid's crazy, man. Like,
Yeah,
I
he's a
remember
good kid.
Yeah, he was talking to me about 9/11 and stuff. He's like,
Nice.
no, that was an inside job. And
That's
I'm
what
like,
your that's what your,
I'm like, you're
that's what your
eight?
stepson said.
Yeah. Dude, he was drawing me comics of the Illuminati as like the main bad guy, like the
Jesus.
triangle of the sea. I'm like,
He's
what
like,
is that?
Dad, have you downloaded Truth Social?
I'm like, what is that? He's like, oh, that's all seeing eye. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Dad,
I don't know where he got the shit from though. It wasn't me.
Dad, what's going on with the
I get blamed for it all
Illuminati?
the
Is there a
time.
global conspiracy to move everybody to one currency? funny. What's going on? Why would he know that at 8 years old?
I have no idea, dude.
Why would he know the truth at such a young age?
Dude,
Man,
it's probably those goddamn YouTube videos.
It's gonna be a weird. It's gonna be a weird world for like even like your new son. You know, like he's gonna grow up in a weird fucking world. Don't you think about that?
Yeah, with me as his dad.
All you guys that are listening that have all had kids, don't you guys worry that like your kids are gonna grow up in like a crazy like post-apocalyptic death society?
No,
you don't worry about that, really. Like the collapse of capitalism could easily happen in the next 10 years.
It's all fucking, dude. It's all fucking hoosh and ladders, wherever.
It's all hoosh and ladders.
It's all hoosh and ladders,
Yeah.
dude.
All
it's
right.
all fake. Nothing.
You mean smoke and mirrors? I think.
Smoke and mirrors.
It's all hoosh and ladders. You think
it's all
so?
fake, dude. Yeah, because I feel
don't
like
know.
every person goes through that. My dad was hiding under desks from nuclear bombs.
Mm-hmm.
My mom was freaking out about the Cold War in the 80s. We were freaking out about 9/11.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're freaking out about Trump ruining our relationship with Canada and the rest of the world.
Right.
It's all fake. In like
Right.
10 years, they'll be like, oh, man, remember that? That was a crazy time in our life. And that's all that happens. They're not
Right.
going to let anything actually happen.
Who's they?
The people that
the
control
Illuminati?
all of
Yeah,
us.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
even if it's not the Illuminati, there is something. Whether it's an alien or something, something is
The
like
shadow government?
Yeah, the shadow
The
government.
deep state?
Exactly. That.
Okay, all
All
right.
that stuff. There's
Yeah.
no way they're just going to let the world end.
They might.
They're not.
Why not?
Because why would they? Then there's nothing to do.
Then there's no money to make.
Yeah, there's nothing going on. There's no power. If everybody's dead, there's no power. What else you got? You got to talk about April Fool's Day?
Well, by the time this podcast comes out, it'll probably be a month from now. But we are recording it on April Fool's Day, and
Don't let them know our secrets.
oh, sorry. Well, they're gonna have to know,
I know.
for this story
I
to make
know.
any significance.
I
But yeah, April Fool's Day is significant for me because it was first of all it was I had two historic events on April Fool's Day as it pertains to my stand-up career.
Yeah.
Both of the worst experiences I've ever had in my life doing comedy happened on April Fool's Day. Isn't that crazy?
It's fucking insane.
Isn't that weird?
It is really weird because the story that you're going to tell me, when you told me what day it was, I was like, no.
Well, the first time it happened was like, okay, so this was like 2021. I went to Chicago and I did it. I used to have a show every week in the East Village called the Village Idiot. It was really popular.
Yeah.
It was like completely sold out every week. We had all the big comics in the city on it. Me and my friend Isaac ran it, and we did a show in Chicago, and we produced this big show. We partnered with this brewery, and 80 people showed up and sold all these tickets, and then I went up and just completely got zero bombed for like 20 minutes straight, just flatlined.
How does bombing happen? Like, how does it, you do stand up all the time. You're doing the same thing. Now you're going to a new place. You figured it would work because it's been working the entire time. So what happens? You say something, and then no one does anything? Like, no one laughs?
Yeah. I've got more skills now than this was like 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So when you're first starting out, you bomb more often. I don't bomb that much anymore, but it does still happen though. Like everybody bombs. Like,
Yeah,
it's
happened last year.
Yeah. Like really bad. But well, I mean, when I was younger in stand up, sometimes when years ago, I didn't. If I did now, I have more control over things. I've done millions of shows. Like I've done thousands of shows a year, so I track them. Like last year, I did like 600 shows or something like that.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So, but I've been doing that every year for like 5 years now. So think about how many times I've gone on stage. For like thousands.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy.
So
dude.
it's like every time you do that, it's like reps. It's like going to the gym. But like back in the day, I would crush. But I didn't really understand why. I was like, okay, people, but like, and then when you would sometimes you would just bomb, and you have like less control when you're younger in stand up. So when I did that show, I just like, I don't know, I used to get really nervous, so I just got nervous and started
You're
bombing.
just, like, shaking the mic like this. And
No, it's just like
this.
you say things that like always get laughs. And that's kind of how I would describe it. Like, there's a couple things I would say that like I'm like, everybody's gonna laugh at this. They always laugh at this. And then I said them on that Chicago show, and nobody laughed. Oof. And then you're like, ugh, okay. And then you say something else, and no one laughed again. And then you're looking at a room, people just staring at you.
So it's like a slump in sports.
And then you
like
start to
strike
fall.
out.
Yeah, it's just like
You can't hit anymore.
Stand up is
You get in
just
your
like
head.
baseball. It's just like baseball.
Stand-up
No,
is
it
just like
is. It's
probably
just like,
is.
this is what I tell people, because it's like you do like a zillion shows.
Yeah.
And you want to have a good average, but you're gonna strike out. Like you're gonna bomb.
Okay. Yeah.
Bad stuff. You like.
And
So
you get
I
in your
can say
head.
I have a pretty good average, but like sometimes something terrible's gonna happen. You're gonna have a bad game. Like it really. That's exactly what it's like. So it's like people will be like, how could you bomb so bad? I thought you're funny. It's like, yeah, but sometimes you just are bad. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
It just happens.
So you bombed in Chicago.
And then 1 year ago is when I bombed on Kill Tony, which was one of the. Which was a pretty.
That was rough to watch.
Yeah. How do you think it fell for me, dude? How do you think it fell for my life?
And like it sucked because like what you were saying was funny.
Nah.
No, it was though. Like when I was watching, I was like, yeah, but no one was laughing.
Right.
So like, I was like,
That's
yo,
called bombing. Yeah.
but I've watched that exact thing that you've done in clips.
Yeah.
And
No, it gets laughs. I just bombed on Kill Tony.
but was it because you were talking too fast,
No,
or like,
I'll give you the whole story.
All right,
I'll
go.
give you the whole story.
Give me the story.
All right. Well, and I think our viewers will appreciate this story too. Some of them, because I know a lot of people have asked me about it. This is another annoying thing about Kill Tony.
Oh
It's
yeah,
like,
now everybody needs to know.
I was doing a joke about this actually after Hogan's funeral. I was like, I'm at this. My friends. I was saying this on stage. I was like, I'm at my friend's fucking funeral. People are coming up to me like, yo, Ginsberg, like, yo, why did you do so bad on Kill Tony? It's like, yo, now's not
I
the
just
time.
lost my fucking friend.
Yo, what happened? Are you serious? Like, why? I thought you were funny, bro. I thought
you were funny.
I thought you were doing stand up for real, bro. Are you serious? Like, why? Is it? Yeah, like
Did you dedicate your life to this, bro? Why'd you fuck up so
no,
bad?
what happens is like every time that was a very substantial shift for me with stand up because that was like it changed everything for me. But basically, like, okay, here's what happened. Like during that time, it was funny because like that was for the first time in my life when I was doing stand up. I've been doing it now for a few years. Things were going good. I'm like at a couple clubs in the city. I'm doing it regularly. I'm getting paid spots. I'm like, I'm really gonna be a stand up comic.
Yeah,
I was like
I'm
really
doing
that's when you fall the hardest, when you think things are going well. That's when something, every time if you have a thought like maybe I can do this, you get destroyed. That's just how it works.
So when we think the podcast is going to be doing good,
something terrible will happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, that's just how I think life is sometimes. Whenever you think you're killing it, you get destroyed.
Yeah.
But like me and my friend Isaac, every year we used to take a trip together. I was like, let's go to Austin. Austin's the scene. Joe Rogan had opened that mothership club there. We wanted to go see the comedy scene there. And we were having a really nice trip in Austin, having a lot of fun. We actually, Brian Redband, who's he's on Kill Tony. He's like one of the guys on the panel. We did his club the whole weekend prior to that. And the night before I did Kill Tony, I did his club, which was Sunset Strip ATX.
Yeah.
Crushed. Had one of the best sets I had there the whole time we were there.
Really?
Yeah, and Brian, he saw me have a good set, but he didn't say anything while I was getting destroyed on Kill Tony. It's all good, but whatever. So then, okay, but I'm like, I wake up. It was our last day in Austin, and I'm not a fan of Tony Hinchcliffe. Honestly, I'm not saying this because of what happened on the show.
Yeah,
no, but I'm not. It's not my thing.
Yeah, that guy's not really that good anymore.
I don't watch Kill Tony.
Yeah.
So that's also, it is not to make excuses, but this is the story. Is like I never really watched Kill Tony in the first place. I had never seen an episode of it.
Oh.
Isaac kept telling me, he was like, you should watch Kill Tony before you go on Kill Tony.
That makes sense.
He's like, because you need to do he's like, you have to get through the interview. He's like, so even if we bomb, like you got to be able to like make him laugh during the interview.
Yeah.
Because like, otherwise then he'll really destroy you. And I was like, whatever. I think I watched like one episode. I was like, yeah, I get it. Like you do a minute and then he makes fun of you. Like, and in my head, I was like, how bad could it be? Because I was like, like worst case scenario, I bomb. And people, like horrible people bomb all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
And then he just destroys you. I was like, I'll get roasted by Tony Hinchcliffe. He's one of the best roasters alive.
Yeah.
Like, it'll be funny. It'll be, you know what I mean? And so in my head, I was like, how bad could it be? Okay, I'll get made fun of by Tony Hinchcliffe for 3 minutes if it goes horribly. Like, big deal.
It wasn't 3 minutes.
But he kept me, one of the longest he's ever kept anybody up there. It was 15 minutes. Just destroy. So I wake up that day. It's our last day in Austin. And I was sick. Now, I tried to say this. I shouldn't have said it on the show because I got nervous. But like, I was sick. I had like 103-degree fever.
Holy shit.
So I'm sick out of my mind and like, but I'm trying to kind of sludge through it. I'm drinking coffee. And then like, I didn't think there was any chance we'd even get called for Kill Tony because they only pick 3 people.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You go to a bar across the street from the mothership. There's like 300 people lined up. It's like a lot party of all these hillbillies just lined up. It's not even just comics, just crazy people are trying to get on Kill Tony to be like, hey, Tony, like, yeah, this week I fucking, it's just whatever. And so we're like on this line. And I'm like, there's no way we're going to get called. They're only going to pick 2 or 3 people. We're waiting online, and they pick one person. Okay, everybody goes crazy. Then like hours go by, they pick another person, and I'm so sick, I can barely breathe. And it's like we're like right about to close up for the night. Like and like I just
you're probably like pumped. Like, all right, they didn't pick me. I feel like shit.
We were about to leave. I literally said to Isaac, I was like, "Yo, let's get out of here, bro. We're not gonna get called. They already picked 2 people. Like they gotta be close. We've been here for like 3.5 hours in this bar. Let's just get out of here." And as soon as I said that, this producer walks in and just goes, "Andrew Ginsberg, you're on Kill Tony." And I was like, "Oh my god!" And then before, and then it's like I'm sick. And then before I know it, these producers are bringing me to the mothership, and then I'm backstage at the mothership, and I'm just backstage at like Rogan's Club, and like all the people are there, all the celebrities from the show and stuff. And like Cam Patterson comes up to me, he's like, "Yo, man, kill it out there, bro." Blah blah
Cam
blah.
Patterson's the best. I love him. But
He's
anyway.
he's done my show in the city, so I had met him once before this happened. Then
Never again though.
no, it's all good. Like, but then like I'm like, you know, I'm standing behind the curtain. The producers are saying like you're like okay, well, like when he calls you, you go out. There's like an X, and just stand on the stage and just tell your jokes. And I'm hearing like the kid before me who was on stage, and like he was horrible. He said like the stupidest shit, and Tony was like, "Wow, you're a great comedian. You do comedy right here in Austin, Texas. Oh, that's amazing. You're going to be a real star." So I'm like, "All right, I'm going to do fine. Like this kid's horrible." And I was like feeling myself at that time too. And then, but I was sick and I was nervous. And then, so I go out on stage, and it just like as soon as I went out, it just kind of hit me. I was like, oh my God, I'm on like TV, because it was like it was like a big set, like lights everywhere and stuff like that, and like I'm seeing it was that guy who plays Dr. Phil, Tony, that was and this guy Ian Edwards were my panel, and they say don't look at them, just look at the crowd. When that's what the producers, until Tony talks to you, like don't look at him. So, and then I had gotten some pretty bad advice. One of my friends told me to do a new joke because it was an open mic, Kill Tony. Like, it's not, you're supposed to just do new material, which is not what I should have done. If I should have done stuff that worked. So I did a joke that I had written like a month before, and that wasn't really tested yet or anything like that. So I start saying the joke, and it's just flatlining. No, I'm looking out into the mothership. It's like a multi-level room. You know, I'm looking at all these people, and they're all just staring. No one's laughing. And I'm just like, ugh. And I knew I'm like bombing, but I'm like, all right, I'm bombing. And then like, whatever. And then, but like what I didn't see at the time while I'm on is like, you know, I'm bombing, but like Tony's making faces like he hates me while I'm speaking. So like they hate me even more. Like, they're watching him.
Yeah.
And then he blows the whistle or whatever, the horn. And then he's just like then I just realized that I was just like, in a segment, like for YouTube. Yeah. Like, because he's looking to destroy somebody. This is what makes the show good.
Yeah, this is what he wanted.
And he hates New York comedians.
Yeah.
And now I came on, and I told him I've been doing it for like 5 or 6 years, and I just had the worst set you've ever seen in your life. And I'm sick. I'm sick out of my mind. I can barely breathe. And he's like, and all I wanted to do was like get out of there. And so I'm like, okay, like I'm gonna get destroyed now. But he was doing this thing because like I was in the segment of the show where he was like, all right, so he's like, I don't know, something's going on with you. Like, do another joke, do your best joke. Like he kept making me do more jokes, which he never does.
I know.
So I'm like, I start like another joke, and he's like, you suck. You're the worst comedian. And he says I'm the worst comedian he's ever seen come out of New York City. Like he could not believe how bad I was.
Yeah, he couldn't. He was shocked.
He just kept like, but I was being set up to be destroyed.
Yes, 100%.
And like even when I said like he was like, what's wrong with you? I was like, my allergies are crushing me. I was like, that was like the most truth. I wish I didn't say that, but that was so true. Like I was like, I'm just getting destroyed by allergies. He was like, you fucking Jew. And then like the whole crowd was just I was just just watching this whole room full of people just booing me and the mothership. I'm just getting destroyed. And then he kept me up there for so long, just telling me I was the worst comedian in New York City. And then just like that, it's like over. And then I get out, and I remember like I was just like, oh my God, like I think I just ruined my career. Like this, like I was like, I think I ruined my comedy career. I don't know what's gonna happen now. Like when this drops, I'm gonna get like, what is gonna happen?
Yeah,
like,
but people stuck up for you, dude. I was watching the comments.
Yeah,
like, nah, he's not that bad. I've seen this skit. Like I've seen him do this. Like, he just didn't like. He just got roasted by Kill Tony. Like, he did this fine. Like, I know. My cousin texted me because my cousin follows all your shit, and Joe. He was just like, yo. He's like, I just saw Ginsberg and Kill Tony. Did you watch this? And sends me a link. I'm like, oh my God. He's like, why did he do that? Like, that's not how he does stand up. Like,
so annoying.
Why was he talking so fast? Like, he was like, what did he do? Like, this isn't how he delivers.
I was just sick and then got nervous and then like.
Because like if you watch how you did those and then you watch your actual
of course.
Clips, your delivery was like.
Do you know how hard? Do you know how different it is to be on the stage at the mothership, sick out of your
just
mind,
looking at this
with
light.
a zillion cameras and then a multi-decker room full of balcony
dude, I was
of
sweating
people
in the last
staring
podcast.
at you. Like you know, it's like that's why I get annoyed when people come up to me and they're like, dude, why did you do that on Kill Tony? It's like, dude, like, are you serious?
Yeah, it was the first time I was doing like pretty much like a stand-up in fucking multi-leveled fucking.
I just bombed.
That was probably the most people you've ever done to, right?
No, I don't. It wasn't, but like,
you don't think so?
I don't know how many people the mothership holds. Maybe it holds like 600.
15,000?
No, dude, it's like under 1,000.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But still a lot of people. It's hundreds of people.
Yeah.
And the double-decker nature of it makes it seem like you're looking out at like a stadium kind of. You're like, oh my God. But like, it's for me, it was more just about the cameras. Like, you don't see that in the YouTube show, but it's like big. It's a set.
Yeah.
Like bright ass lights, a million serious cameras.
It's a real ass production.
Yeah, it's the number one show on and I also didn't realize the reach of Kill Tony. So like,
Oh, yeah.
then I got off stage and like, and Isaac was waiting for me and he was like, how did it go? How'd it go? I was like, dude, I bombed. Like, I really bombed bad. Like, I was like, he destroyed me. I was like, you think this is going to be bad? And he was like, yeah. I was like, how many people watch it? He's like, dude, it's like the #1 show on YouTube. I was like, are you serious? Like, I was like, oh man, this is really bad. And I called Ian Fidance. I don't know if you know who he is.
Nah.
He's a pretty big comedian, and sometimes he's a panelist on Kill Tony.
Okay.
But I'm friends with him, and I was like, hey, like I just bombed on Kill Tony, like, do you think this is gonna be bad? He was like, shit, man. He's like, Tony's so mean, huh? He's like, he's like,
you fuck kid.
Yeah, he was like, it's gonna be rough on the internet for a while, but like you'll get through it, man. Like it's gonna be okay. I got a lot of support from other comedians, like Usama Siddiqui, who was on America's Got Talent. He called me because he got roasted on America's Got Talent. He's like, dude, this happens. Like, just keep going. Like, people were very supportive, especially in New York.
Now, dude, did anyone notice you when you were doing stand up?
Like, yeah, that's what I
people
mean.
were like, yo, you were the one who killed, like,
all the time.
but you crushed it tonight, like,
all the time.
Wow,
still happens.
That's probably cool.
No, it's not cool. Like, it's not cool. It was never cool.
No,
it was like first of all, then there was like so for a few.
You're
weeks,
like infamous though. You're like the
I know,
one.
It was the one that he
you were
destroyed the most.
Worst
Yeah.
on Kill Tony.
I know.
Ever.
And I'm not like.
I wonder if I typed on YouTube right now, worst Kill Tony.
Nah. There's so many bad people on
But
Kill
do you
Tony.
think you'd be #1?
No.
All right.
I've looked at the number. Like I've looked at it. Like,
okay.
What the worst part about it is like other people were making videos of me bombing.
Yeah, but
like reaction videos.
Yeah,
like here's Andrew Ginsberg, New York City comedian bombing. Oh, look here how he's really starting to sweat, and that video has like 800,000 views.
Yeah, but then those videos were like, why don't you fucking try to do it? Why are you making fun
people
of
were
this person?
saying, so then leading up to it dropping on the internet, there was like, I just had a knot in my stomach for like weeks. I was like, this thing's gonna come out, I'm gonna just get destroyed. Every single person I've ever met in my entire life is gonna see it. My family's gonna see it. My mom's probably gonna see. I mean, everybody's gonna see it, and they're gonna think I suck because they're like, "Wow, this guy gave up his whole life to do stand up, and he's just getting destroyed by Tony Hinchcliffe," And it's so funny because it's like then it dropped, and then sure enough, yeah, like at first on the internet, I was pleasantly surprised. Like a lot of people were standing up for me in the comments. They were like, people were like, "Fuck Tony, this is totally ridiculous. Like this guy's just like not his style doesn't suit the show," and blah blah blah. So I did get a lot of DMs that people that were like, "Kill yourself, like you're the piece of shit."
Really?
Yeah, a lot of people
good.
like that.
I like that.
A lot of people were like you should fucking quit. You're horrible. Oh my god. But a lot of people stood up for me, especially on YouTube. YouTube people were much nicer. And then in the comments on the episode, people were all fighting about me.
Wow.
There was like thousands of people like fighting about me, about like what it was like a whole thing. And then yeah, for like, then I started getting the support from the other comics in the city. And I was super embarrassed because it was like every time like I would do shows, I do a lot of shows at this comedy club in Times Square, but they have like 200 or 300 people sometimes in their main room at night, and I was doing those shows a lot, and at least 2 or 3 people after every show would come up to me and be like, "Dude, I saw you on Kill Tony get destroyed, bro." They're like, "You're actually funny though. That's crazy." Like that kept happening for like months.
But you gotta like that. You gotta understand that. Like at least these people are being like, "Oh, everything that I saw on the internet was fake because this kid crushed it."
No, it wasn't fake. That really happened. I bombed that bad. Like it was real. Like, and Tony was just. That's why I always say there's no shade. I'm not mad at Tony.
Will you
Hinchcliffe.
ever do an April Fool's Day show again?
I'm gonna do Kill Tony again.
Yeah, but will you do it on April Fool's Day?
I don't know. That I don't know. But I'm gonna go.
So what's funny? I was actually thinking about when you were coming here today, and I was like, "Damn!" I was like, "We're doing this podcast on April Fool's Day." And I think that's also what was running through my head during that last episode. I'm like, "This episode's gonna fucking bomb because that curse that runs with you every April Fool's Day." So after I ran through that episode that we did last week, I was like, "I sucked." That entire time, and I was like, I think like it wasn't because of the curse, but then I was thinking about that outside. I'm like, fuck, like it's me, like I ruined everything.
No,
I wasn't funny. I didn't do anything.
It's all good. I feel like everything's going well.
Nah, whatever.
So then,
I feel like everything's going well.
I feel like I do.
Yeah.
And then then after that started a series of events that changed my whole life after Kill Tony because it really rattled me.
Yeah, I'm sure it did.
Because I don't know, it was like everybody I ever met was like, what happened? Even my brother was like, "Yo, what the fuck?" He loves Kill Tony,
Yeah.
He was like, "Why did you do that?" And like,
why did you do
why
are you embarrassing my good name?
At Hogan's thing, at his memorial, Vinny came up to me and was like, "Why did you do that on Kill Tony?" Bro? I was like, "Bro, it was like, I don't know, But it wound up being good for me in the end. It caused like
I knew it was gonna be good for you.
in the end, it was good for me.
I was like, dude, this is gonna make you infamously like famous.
Well, what also made me want to like keep. Like, you know how hard it was
to want
to
keep
go back to
doing
the
podcasts.
city and
Yeah,
be like,
dude,
hey
fucking stand up.
Andrew, like here's your shows this week. Like to go back on stage in front of hundreds of people and just keep doing
And
it.
they
It was
all
like,
know because they're all there. They're comedy people, so
Yeah.
they definitely know what just happened to you.
No, dude, the audience is new. People were coming up to me after every show and being like, I saw you on Kill Tony get destroyed. It happened all the time.
But like, did they say you were good tonight though?
Yeah.
Or like, you
Yeah,
sucked-
yeah. They're
you
like,
sucked
you're
just as much?
hilarious. It's
Have
great.
you bombed since then?
No, not like that.
No, but I mean, like, have you had like cold nights, like bad cold nights?
Not
Wow.
really, not like
Yeah,
that.
maybe
not
it's
like
fucking-
that.
yeah.
You're always gonna have an off night or something, but not where I was like, no, like I'm fucking melting down.
Yeah,
I just
fucking-
got really nervous. I had never been on TV before.
Yeah.
And I wasn't prepared, and I was sick, and I wasn't ready. And I didn't. The most important thing that I missed was that I didn't really understand the interview, because you can like bomb your jokes, but if he thinks you're funny when he's like fucking with you, if you're roasting him back and stuff, then
Yeah.
you can still save your shit.
Yeah, you gotta call him gay. That's
Yeah,
the whole
yeah.
thing.
Well, now when I go back on Kill Tony, I'm gonna have a whole bunch of like I'm gonna know. I'm gonna
and
have
he's
it up.
definitely gonna want you back.
Oh yeah,
you need.
he always
redemption.
does on the show. He does the
Redemption.
redemption arc.
Yeah.
So it's like then you come back and then you win and then you're the best. You know,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
so.
yeah.
I'm gonna do that one day. I'm not mentally. I can't do it now.
No, you
but
gotta
I know
wait.
the producers will put me back on because they always put people that bombed back on the
Do
show.
you and especially you had
Yeah.
the 15-minute bomb.
Yeah. I'll be back.
You'll be the number one. Yeah, we.
I'm
want
gonna
you.
be back though when I'm hoping to go back on that show when I'm a bit more like people have heard of me already as like a stand up, and then I'll go back.
Yeah, but that's not fun.
That's what I want. I don't know. I want to destroy him. I'm gonna go out for blood. I'm gonna try to roast him. That's like my plan.
Just go out, get everything.
I'm gonna get some of my.
You're gonna have to watch a lot of his shit to get him.
No, it's not that hard to get him.
Yeah,
He says all kinds of weird stuff, and he's
that's true.
But I don't know. That was like kind of a bummer. That was kind of a bummer, but I'm better off for it now. But that was last April Fool's Day, and then the months after that were just fucking crazy, dude. Being on.
Did
Kill
you
Tony.
have what'd you call her? Violet, Bridget? What's
Magenta?
Magenta?
Yeah.
Were you with her when you
Mhm.
bombed?
Yeah.
What'd she think? Did she want to break up?
I can't be with a guy who can't crush on Kill Tony.
Was she
No.
supportive? Was she like, hey,
Yeah,
you'll
she
get
was-
him next time, Tiger?
No, she was just like, that's not you. Like, she was like, we see you every night of the week crushing. Like, she was
Yeah.
like, that's just not you. Like, it's just that, and like, also, like, maybe, like, I wasn't meant to be, like, a Kill Tony star. I'm not
Yeah.
Hans Kim. Like, I don't want to
Yeah.
be those guys. Like, those guys, that's not even what I do.
I'll tell you what though, Cam, he's the main thing I've ever taken from Kill Tony. That guy, I fucking love.
He's
him,
funny,
dude.
but he hasn't even been doing stand-up that long.
I know. I saw him on I listened to him on Are You Garbage. He's the craziest guy in the world. I don't know. He's fucking just.
Yeah,
cracks
he
me
did
up.
my bar show in New York when he came into town.
Really?
Yeah.
How was that?
It was awesome. He came with Hans, and they both did the show.
Oh shit, that's sick.
Yeah.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah. We knew Hans from back in the day because he used to do mics and stuff. He just like blew up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, he brought Cam, and then they both did our show at the juke bar.
Was it Cam's dad there being a nut trying to
No,
sell
it was
stuff?
just Cam and Hans. They came in, did the show,
I heard
and they were super. And when I bombed on Kill Tony, Cam was super nice to me when I came off stage. He's like, "It happens, bro. It happens, bro." And I was like, "I'm getting out of here, man.
Yeah,
I'm
I
getting
want
the
that
fuck
kid."
out of here, man. Oh my god, I'm so embarrassed." And it was the worst part too. Was like right before I went on stage, Tony Hinchcliffe was like, "If you go back and watch the episode, you can see." He's like. And another thing for you guys I hear before I bring up this next comedian, he's like, Joe Rogan is backstage right now, and he's listening.
Oh no! So Joe Rogan knows that you're the worst comedian.
One of my dreams in comedy, I've always said this, one of my pipe dreams is that if like, something happens to me, blow up, and like if I'm ever on Joe Rogan, I would love to tell that story on Joe Rogan. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool. So, anyway, so that's what happened on Kill Tony.
Yeah. Well, and Tara just texted me. Dinner's ready, dude.
All right, dude.
I don't know what we're having tonight. Maybe some ravioli.
This is great. This is the only time I get to eat a real meal.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. I usually just have a bowl of rice.
All right. Hey, we're coming back from AJ's Den, and we'll see you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday. Thanks for tuning in to Why That's Funny podcast. Follow us on the internet.
Follow us.
We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Why That's Funny. We hope you enjoyed the show. Message us your questions at Why That's Funny Podcast on Instagram. Until next time, so long.